might, but then you remember how narrow their window might be, so it might not be them. I don't. I'm not quite there for Dallas or Milwaukee yet because especially because those teams could be, different in a couple of years. So yeah, I think it's probably the Lakers and the Heat, and then I mean, obviously, if the Nuggets win another couple games, they could get in that mix too.
What, did you say the Warriors?
I didn't. I don't think they do.
Yeah, over the next 5 years.
Yes. I wouldn't expect them to. I wouldn't think they have a basically more likely than not to win at least one.
Hmm.
Why is it looking so easy for Jamal Murray right now? What should the Lakers do? I mean, he's making very difficult shots, and one of the key elements of stars and superstars is that they make shots that would otherwise be considered bad ones. And so I think you keep on contesting, you make them difficult. Sometimes you throw different looks. Probably don't do it as randomly as the Celtics did last night on Jimmy Butler late in the game, but you try different things, see what happens. And also the other gamble that I think both of these teams aren't doing enough is making the support players beat you. Now, Denver's support players did a nice job in game 3, but if I have to choose between Jamal Murray having more heat and the resulting thing being Torrey Craig or Jeremy Grant getting a more open shot, I'm going to choose that more often than the Lakers have so far. And it's the same thing with KCP, Danny Green, Caruso, Rondo for the Lakers. Oh, somebody set up on YouTube.
Yeah, we are. I was just about to say that we are back. So all of you YouTubers, go ahead and jump on. I would be curious to know actually for you streamers, whoever the slowest person is, how far ahead of you are we? Because if we ever get in the situation again where we don't have YouTube, maybe it's a better idea to just slow it down to whatever the lowest common denominator is, and then people can just pause their own stream and still sync up with us even when we can't be paused ourselves.
Oh, the Celtics. Yeah, the Celtics are a reasonable possibility as well. But again, like expecting that they win a championship in the next 5 years, like especially with their odds being a little bit lower right now, down 3-1, it's a lot to ask.
Yeah, we didn't do anything on YouTube, by the way. It just seemed like it was down. Here's a little screen off the inbounds for AD against Plumlee. Here's KCP pulling up from deep. And Porter Jr. with the rebound. KCP's had a couple good looks spin out. Denver doing a decent job of weathering the storm. This is Murray and then no Jokic for Denver. Grant in the mid-range. Jeremy Grant has made a couple of nice plays off the dribble, building on the confidence that he built in Game 3 with that great performance. Kuzma against Monte Morris. They've gotten more to Kuzma as a creator in this. Davis as the pick-and-roll ball handler. Plumlee with the deflection. Now it's Caruso, not a threat to shoot that. He has to swing it. KCP's wide open. Great pass.
Yeah, great read there by Caruso to see KCP open. Nobody rotated over to him. They were betting on the corner instead. Caruso makes a nice pass.
Yeah, and Murray went to the near side on Kuzma rather than the far side, and Caruso read that nicely. Screen away for Murray here, coming off the handoff into the lane against AD. Nice leave for Plumlee. And that's a great hard roll by Mason Plumlee. By getting on top of the rim quickly off the handoff, he was able to get behind Davis. Now it's Kuzma into the mid-range. Hits that jump shot, although that's one that Denver will probably live with.
Potentially starting the mano-a-mano with Michael Porter Jr. We'll see.
Plumlee setting the screen. They get it to him on the roll. Too slow getting it to Porter, but Porter doesn't mind. He'll shoot it anyway over a nice contest from Rondo. Caruso, no advantage off the pick and roll. He'll try again. Still nothing. Grant got through two screens beautifully. AD did not set a good screen. Now they get it to AD against Plumlee. This is an advantage matchup. The double team comes, and AD throws it into the stands.
And we're seeing some of the limitations of AD as kind of like a creator for other people. As they were sending him extra attention, there wasn't really a way for him to get a pass there.
Yeah, this again is the Rondo and Caruso group that didn't really give them enough spacing at the end of Game 3. Murray setting up Morris wide open. Not able to continue his spectacular shooting. James looking to push it here on the 2-for-1. Tries Grant, goes through him. Blocking foul is called. Boy, LeBron basically never gets called for that. It looks like he got hit in the thigh. Did you catch whether that was a good call or not? Let's see.
I think he pushed with his off arm. I think that's the kind of like the original sin there to me.
Yeah, that one's really close. But yeah, with this shove off as well, though he's letting himself go down already at this point.
Well, it's something that amused me earlier in that possession. LeBron looked ahead for that missile pass, open court, but nobody was there. Anthony Davis not being on the floor takes away one of those angles.
James with the second free throw. This has been a ridiculous offensive start for the Lakers, although James couldn't add to it with the free throw. Now they're trying to prevent Murray from getting the 2-for-1. Porter, Grant misses the three. Excellent box out by LeBron, but I think they're going to actually get him for the hold on Plumlee. Yeah, he grabbed his arm. That's a good call.
As Rondo absolutely drills the referee.
But by the ref. So Denver, a chance to score once more here. Pick and roll. Murray at Rondo. Intercepted. Rondo looking to push it. Porter getting back. Nice leave for James.
Michael Porter Jr.
That was actually a great run by Porter Jr. And now Davis comes over and fouls Plumlee. Not a good foul, as Plumlee is a pretty good stop Murray several times in this series as a tandem at the top of that zone defense.
Yeah, and the Lakers had two guys kind of on the edge of the lane there, so Plumlee just ran in between them. Davis reacts late, and that leads to Plumlee getting 2 free throws. But those can be an adventure.
Yeah, Lakers still have a little bit of time here. We'll see whether they try to inbound the ball a little bit further down into the front court. It looks like they couldn't get the defensive replacement in that they wanted to. Who is this? Is this Dozier?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Looked like him.
Lots of confusion, but Murray is going to go sit down now. I never even realize when Murray goes out of the game. He's in so often you don't recognize the couple of sessions.
Rondo, they called the lane violation because Rondo was basically standing in the restricted area when Plumlee took the shot.
Hey, that's another one of those plays by Rondo. It's just like he's a smart player, but he really just does dumb stuff all the time. And then he gives up the offensive board. Hilarious. Just terrible.
Also, a very strong argument for having your actual rebounders rebound the ball when a bad free throw shooter is shooting with 4 seconds left in the quarter.
Well, what they wanted to do was to have AD down the floor so they could throw a long pass to him, and Rondo just never boxes out. What a pathetic sequence there.
Well, and they also had Kuzma down the floor. I mean, Kuzma's not the greatest rebounder in the world, but he'd be better there than Rondo.
Yeah. Doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So, and for Rondo to lane violate like that and then to fail to box out on the free throw that he gave up. And great job by Morris just going right through Rondo again. I mean, just the crazy inconsistency of his effort, both mentally and physically, has been mind-boggling in this particular series. In the Houston series, other than whatever the first game, I can't remember whether game 1 or 2 is the first game he played. He was terrible, and then he was awesome after that.
Denver, 30 points on 23 possessions for a 130.4 offensive rating, and they trail by 7 because the Lakers have a 160.9. Part of that is that the Lakers have only turned the ball over once. That was that AD pass to no one. Otherwise, they've gotten a shot in every possession. The Lakers took 26 field goal attempts and 6 free throws in that quarter, which is completely ridiculous. AD, 14 points, 6 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. Jamal Murray, 12 points, 6 of 7 from the field, missed his only 3, made 6 of 6 of his 2s.
I'll tell you the most ridiculous stat of the first half. Lakers, 56% offensive rebounds.
Wow. Well, I mean, they haven't missed that many shots. So yeah, they have 5 offensive rebounds and they have 12 missed shots, free goal attempts, and free throws.
Yeah.
It's possible the missed free throw wasn't on the second. I'm trying to remember. It was
Yeah.
LeBron. I think
Well,
he did miss this.
RT Hoops does include team offensive rebounds in their
Sure,
calculation, so that
which is great.
they'll have a higher offensive rebound rate than standard sites. When I consulted with Mid on that, I tried to help them make sure that they would do that. So that's one of the awesome things about RT Hoops.
Is it just me, or does the feel like the Lakers should be up 15? I mean, the Nuggets offense has been great so far. I think that would be underselling what Denver has done on that end. Jamal Murray's been great so far. They've gotten some good looks around the basket, and so no, I think Denver's offense has been good enough. Their defense has been terrible, and also the Lakers shot making. I mean, some of Davis's were absolutely excellent.
Yeah, I'm just trying to catch up on all the stuff that I missed while we were trying to fix those tech problems.
After 3 games, who do you guys have in the series? I have the Lakers. I think that the Nuggets have a better chance, and we talked about this on Dunked on Prime. The Nuggets have a better chance than I expected. 3 games in, their odds of winning the series have gone up in my eyes. But the Lakers are up 2-1. They have a lot of talent. They've played well at moments in time, and especially now we have 1/4 of them being up by 7. That helps too.
Yeah, so this was just such a weird quarter, and the Lakers do have this ability to play with force at times. We saw it in the fourth quarter as well, where they really just render some of the normal things that win basketball games almost obsolete because they're just killing you at defense and transition and rebounding. All right, so this is oh no, Murray is still in the game. LeBron trying to post up. Caruso back to LeBron, late clock. Nice little pass. Caruso then throws it away, though. I don't know who he was looking to. I think he thought
I think it was Markieff Morris, but
Yeah.
Morris cut into the lane.
Yeah, so we're also seeing JaVale McGee in here for the Lakers. This is a different group than they've normally had, where they've gone with Markieff Morris at center to start the second. Here's the hard blitz on Murray. They swing it around. This is a wide open look for Porter, and he's missed a couple of those now. Good process there, though, from the Nuggets. Trying to involve Porter against LeBron. LeBron is going to just lick his chops at this matchup. Murray coming over to help a little bit. LeBron taking his sweet time. Porter's got plenty of help. Now here's the drive. LeBron with the left hand, and he scores. Yeah, LeBron is one of the few guys, he and Harden, who can just dribble for 15 seconds and still score at the end of the possession. Porter, wide open again, going right back at LeBron. Can't get it. Plumlee couldn't get the tip. They're going to go after Porter again here, I would imagine. Well, no, instead it's Plumlee. LeBron fakes into the lane, and he just lost it out of bounds. He can't believe he didn't get the foul call.
We'll see the replay. I didn't see a ton of. No, they're showing a replay of the other one. I didn't see a ton of contact there. Oh, here we go.
LeBron against Craig, swings it around. Got a nice flare screen for Kuzma from McGee, but the shooting starting to wear off for both teams. Morris, oh, he totally wrong-footed Kuzma. Goes into McGee, and that's an awesome finish over a 7-footer by the 6-foot Monte Morris.
Yeah, I was going to criticize Markieff Morris for not really fighting on that, but JaVale McGee was right there. That was just a great finish by Monte Morris to get it.
Trying to get Kuzma off a couple screens on the weak side. Swinging around. Caruso, corner 3. That's the shot that he's going to need to be hitting. And he is shooting it with little hesitation, but he also doesn't stand out there that much. He's always kind of looking for his chance to sneak inside. Plumlee. Uh-oh, here we go, Danny. This isn't going to be good, is it? No, it's not. Ben, please clip that one for later. It's just a great highlight reel for Plumlee post-ups. They throw it out to Kuzma. Another 3. Man, Kuzma as LeBron is going to draw the
And
loose ball foul
that
on the
is
offensive glass.
another foul by the Nuggets in an offensive rebounding action.
Kuzma and Michael Porter Jr. trading off shots and misses right now. Those two have been such delightful foils in this series.
Delight may vary.
New 14 for the Lakers. Trying to post up LeBron again. That's been the impetus for the offense here. Morris, as Jokic comes back in to take him. It's Jokic and Plumlee together. This is odd. And Plumlee, yep. Oh, no, they're going to get Markieff Morris on this one. I thought that Plumlee shoved him down, but we'll see if we get a look at the replay. They're going to say Morris grabbed his arm here. Yeah, I mean, that's probably got to just be a no call there. Both of them were pretty well engaged, I think. Here's Jokic. Run into by Caruso, and it's stolen. Now
Hey,
Morris
you don't
with
see
the
that
Euro
too
foul.
often. Caruso basically just ran into him and picked it.
Yeah, and Jokic, I think he was getting ready to pop back out, so he didn't have as much force to his roll as he normally would. Grant's returning for Denver. I don't really understand why they're doing Plumlee and Jokic together here. They just think that Millsap isn't any good. And now Kuzma just blows right into the lane. He thought that our Porter, who was guarding him, no, he didn't get screened by anyone. In fact, his own man screened him. It was Monte Morris.
And with a defensive miscue, that means Mike Malone is going to call a timeout. We'll see how many, if they keep on struggling on defense, we'll see how many timeouts he has left at halftime. Because we know Michael Malone will run through them.
Hey, by the way, you know that they have like people in these virtual stands? Are you aware of that?
No, they should definitely show them more.
Yeah.
From Charles McCurry, the Plumlee turnover reminded me to tune into our feed. Oh, that's fantastic. That is the type of muscle memory response we want. The brand is strong. Let's see. Oh, somebody also did it on Twitch. Thank you to the People's Mix. That's awesome. Let's see. Max rim protection. Yeah, I mean, it's also, I mean, remember they're playing Porter, basically functionally, you could say Porter at the 3 and Craig at the 2. So that's a very limited shooting group as well. Let's see. Let's see. Checking various things. Oh, that's an interesting question for both of us. I kind of want to wait until Nate has his headphones in again, because I think he has thoughts on this in terms of the best chicken sandwich. My personal favorite is of like, if we're calling it chains, I think that's the only fair way to do this, because otherwise you're gonna say like, oh, small place and somewhere else. I think the best chain one is Chick-fil-A. I actually prefer their spicy chicken to the regular. I also like spicy chicken sandwiches more than regular sandwiches most of the time. Nate, I don't know if you can hear, the question is best chicken sandwich.
Oh, yeah. It's a good question. I'm not as much of an expert. I haven't had Popeyes yet. I really enjoy the Chick-fil-A deluxe sandwich, spicy, with the Chick-fil-A sauce. That's probably, in terms of like a national chain, that's probably the best one, I would say. But I haven't had Popeyes yet. So.
I have had Popeyes, and I would have the Chick-fil-A one over it.
Okay.
I'm not sure I've ever had the Whataburger chicken sandwich. Tim Cato has actually told me to get that before, and I'm just not around Whataburgers very often because they don't have them in California. Because popular chains have to be regional, can be regional for some reason. They can't just put one somewhere else.
Yeah, I hope it's not as overrated as their burgers are.
In a 2016 offseason, how much does Jeremy Grant get? I mean, so one of the big elements that made 2016 so crazy was that everyone had money. So, I mean, then I think he would have clearly gotten starter money. I mean, maybe above that. So maybe we're talking like 18 to 20 million a year. But remember that the cap was, even with everything else, the cap was lower then. It's just the teams had a lot more money.
Let's try and catch up here a little bit in terms of just the box score, with the Lakers now leading by 12, Davis with 14, and James with 12. They have been dominant so far for the Lakers. And Howard, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 4 on the offensive glass, and another foul that he drew as well. Lakers back in the zone here. Porter on the drive baseline goes right in. What a finish by Porter over McGee. Denver back within 10. They got to start playing better defense, though, here. And maybe that's the idea with having Plumlee and Jokic together. Here's the alley-oop. Plumlee does come over to intercept, so he pays off there. They throw it ahead. Morris intercepted by James. Grant is wide open on the other side. Nobody saw him. Now Plumlee trying to post up on Caruso. Could this be better? They get it back to him. It's quick spin underneath. Throws it out. Sets up the Grant 3. No, he passes on it. And that's now Jokic for 3. Spotting up, and he'll hit. The one downside of playing Jokic and Plumlee together is you kind of have to run everything through Plumlee and have Jokic spot up, because otherwise Plumlee is just going to muck up your spacing.
Yeah, it's a great point.
But 5 quick points here for Denver to get back into contact. Now Porter involved in pick and roll defense. They want to go right back at him again. Porter now has to move towards Kuzma, and that was a great job. James, he's just such a technician. Oh, it didn't work the first time? Don't worry, man. We got 15 more seconds to cause you to make a mistake. Now the Lakers make a mistake and leave Porter Jr. open for his 3 coming right back. It's just, if Kuzma makes, Porter is going to make. And if Kuzma misses, Porter is going to miss. And the Lakers are going to get a timeout here to talk about what went wrong in their zone defense these last few possessions.
And that means it's an opportunity for us to answer some questions.
Kevin Pelton is listening, and he says Popeyes is better. Well, I have a Popeyes.
Interesting.
I have a Popeyes pretty close to me. I should probably actually try it. Now that they actually have them again. I tried to buy one at a rest stop.
In the flurry?
At a rest stop in Maryland. And of course they didn't have a sign up and I waited in line for 5 minutes, got to the front, and of course they didn't have a sign saying that they didn't have it. They just, because they figured that once people got there, they were going to just order something else, and they had me pegged, because that's exactly what I did, and I just enjoyed their regular excellent chicken products.
Have y'all ever tried hot chicken? Yes, many times. I haven't spent that much time in Tennessee, but I have had it a few times. And also now, not that it's the same thing, Hattie B's has a place within the Cosmopolitan in Vegas, which is a nice resource to have. That little food court, I guess you could call it, of local places that a couple of which we've been to together. Out in the original, there's the Seattle sandwich or Portland sandwich place too, right?
Yeah, Lardo's. Yeah,
Lardo's.
Local places that the only other outlet of them is in the Cosmopolitan.
The second floor of the Cosmopolitan Hotel.
Yeah, it's a great concept.
Yeah, but don't tell too many people about it, because it's still not that crowded usually. Are we seeing more zone defenses in these seasons playoff? Yeah, off the top of my head. I mean, we're seeing more than in the times that I've covered it. I mean, Jared Dubin wrote a good piece about a year and a half ago about the rise of zone defenses. I can't compare it historically, but since I've been covering the league, yes, it appears to be so.
Oh, for sure. I mean, particularly among actual good teams. This is probably more zone. The 2003 Dallas Mavericks actually played a lot of zone. And the 2011 Dallas Mavericks played a little bit of zone. But to see it as, hey, we're just going to this every single time. And the 3 biggest practitioners of it have been the Heat, the Raptors, and the Lakers. And the reason for that is just an inability to deal with certain pick and roll combinations. It's Kemba Walker against the Celtics, and then it's Jokic and Murray here. So I think that's the idea, is that the NBA is a pick and roll league. If you can't deal with that, then let's try zone, especially when the Nuggets are not an unbelievable shooting team either.
From Pete Wolf, how has your opinion changed on Malone as a result of these playoffs? I think that he's been better at adjustments. I mean, the Nuggets' dramatic improvement defensively isn't all on Malone, but it is at least partially on him. And going, changing around the lineups and especially in the Jazz series when it looked like nothing was working. And yeah, so it's improved. I don't think he's like a top five coach or anything yet, but my opinion of him has improved significantly.
I'm very interested to see once we get into like a normal NBA season again and the next year's playoffs as well, how these teams that have done way better this year, the Heat and the Nuggets in particular, fare, and whether there's something about the bubble that has made them be better or whether they really have taken these types of leaps forward in performance. There's another miscommunication on another Kuzma pick and pop three, and Michael Porter Jr. just has not been able to stick with Kyle Kuzma on those pick and rolls with James.
Better watch out, MPJ. PJ Dozier is coming for your minutes.
Yeah, or Gary Harris or somebody. They get it to Plumlee at the foul line, but Morris is going to be called for the foul jostling in the post with Jokic.
And it hasn't been as big a story, but 3 fouls for Denver so far, 2 for the Lakers. So that might be a little bit. There might be one coming. But so that means teams are getting closer to the bonus in the first few minutes, but not as ridiculous as we've seen in other games.
Pick and roll, Jokic and Morris. Morris with the mid-range pull-up. That time it wasn't nearly as open, but I think they're going to get Plumlee here for the foul in the rebounding action.
I think they got Jokic for that, and because he had the hand around the side. And
yep,
if
good
so,
call.
That's Jokic's first. Quick foul update: Markieff Morris, Torrey Craig, Paul Millsap, and Gary Harris are the players with 2 fouls.
So that's perhaps part of why we're seeing this different lineup from Malone. Although Millsap in particular, I think you can kind of roll with him with 2 fouls. He's probably not going to close the game for you. Murray is back in. He got a pretty decent rest there.
It might be his only one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Caruso attacking, and he sets up Kuzma on the drive. Kuzma just lost it. Couldn't see how because the camera angle sucks. But noteworthy that Michael Porter Jr. helped off the strong side corner and left Kuzma open. I don't know why he didn't take that 3, but hard to tell from that angle what happened. Davis is back. LeBron is on the bench. They want to get Davis off a screen against Plumlee. Davis, late clock, tough fader, man. What shooting from Anthony Davis. He just can't miss. Now it's Porter. Plumlee rocks Rondo on the screen legally. Jokic loading up from outside. And maybe it is a good idea to have Nikola Jokic stationed further outside if he's going to shoot it like this. Morris against Jokic. Davis, Kuzma feeling it. Off the heel of the rim. Now Jokic setting up Murray. Good help from Rondo. Porter missed Grant in the corner. Porter drives beautifully, though. What a nice jump stop there.
Yeah, footwork, body control, excellent there by Michael Porter Jr. Something that I remember back when he was at the Hoop Summit. I thought that his body control was very good for a guy his size.
Yeah, Porter just doing a terrible job of getting through screens. He just shoved Morris for no reason. Now it's Caruso against Jokic. Porter switching onto him. Caruso with a brick. That was a pretty ugly possession. Maybe go somewhere else in the 2-man game. Oh, what a steal from Davis. And now it's Rondo looking to push it. Davis running the floor, setting up Morris for the 3. Rondo on the offensive glass. Lobs for Davis, but the pass, he wasn't ready for it. Davis wants it back against Plumlee. 5 to shoot off the offensive rebound. Forced to his left. Tough step back. Foul. Terrible, terrible
Mason
foul.
Plumlee's defense rears its head.
With 1.5 in the shot clock, he's done an excellent job of contesting. This is an impossible shot, and it's not even close.
Well, yeah,
as far
it's
as not being
really
a foul.
the leg contact for me was the biggest part of that. The hand stuff was on the margin, but he got into his body. Can't do that.
Yeah, that's now 10 shot attempts for Kuzma, as he's gotten a little more room to explore the studio space than in previous games. Let's see if Malone sticks with Plumlee. Looks like subs are coming back in. Harris. LeBron only on 14 minutes here. in this half, and always curious to see how much Vogel is going to play him as well. Is this the time where he really ramps up his minutes?
I mean, think about the advantages for the Lakers if they could push on the accelerator a little bit and go up 3-1 here. Yes, it is true. The Nuggets have won to come back from it, but that means you get three opportunities to close them out. The Lakers do have, I believe, a talent advantage in the series, even though the Nuggets were the superior team in Game 3 and arguably Game 2.
Yeah, Plumlee is out, Porter is out, Harris and Millsap replace them. Howard is back in for the Lakers. They're going with the two bigs, LeBron at the 3, Rondo and KCP. Rondo has the matchup on Murray. Back to a normal pick and roll defense. Rondo forces the pass by Murray. Now they've got 8 on the clock for Jokic against KCP. Looks like the Chambord shuffle might be coming. KCP did well to keep him off of that move, and then the pass is intercepted. Rondo throws it way ahead. Lucky that wasn't intercepted. Back to KCP in the corner for Rondo. Quick move, but KCP really has not had the range. Now Millsap throws it away.
And
here's the oop for LeBron, and that was really speculative as well. Terrible by both teams. Here's a beautiful Euro by Grant, and he dunks.
Yeah, some really unnecessarily aggressive passes here, especially for guys that aren't good at him with that KCP lob.
Davis against Millsap, who he abused in the first quarter. Back to goal. Tough fadeaway over him is short. And Millsap, I think you just play good defense without fouling and hope that he cools off a little bit. These are difficult shots that he's hitting. Murray intercepted by KCP, who's been a shark here to no real benefit, though, because he keeps throwing the ball away after getting the turnover. Harris off the offensive rebound. That hits the glass first. LeBron pushing it against Millsap into the lane easy, and with Jokic not back there, if LeBron gets ahead of your center, you're in big trouble.
Well, and that's the old hallmark is that transition defense is all about the bigs, and Millsap is a big too, but wasn't enough to stop LeBron there.
Murray trying to draw the foul, can't. Jokic in pick and roll, swings it out. Millsap trying to drive on Davis. And what are they going to get here? Is this going to be Howard underneath on Jokic?
I mean, it shouldn't be on Anthony Davis because I didn't see anything there.
Yeah. And this is why LeBron hasn't played as many minutes. They want him to have the ability to push the ball really hard. Those hard attacks in transition are exhausting, but that's part of what makes the Lakers. And given the limitations of their half-court offense, they need that.
And they did call that foul on AD. That's his second.
Yeah, I didn't see much there. Murray sets up Grant as LeBron helps off him, and Grant hitting the step-in two-pointer off the dribble. Davis on the post-up and just lost it out of bounds, and they're going to say stay here.
$15 seconds on the shot clock, 57-49 the margin right now.
Davis is in the corner against Millsap. I guess they're just going to go right back at him. He'll just take the three over him. Oh, and it just rims out. Jokic setting up Millsap here. Now he hands off to Murray. Murray, oh, what a crossover into the lane, and he's going to get fouled from behind by Rondo.
And I believe that's the Lakers' fourth foul, so it doesn't result in free throws.
Yeah, Denver, pretty good effort by them in this first half. They're taking a pretty good punch here from the Lakers and staying in it.
Oh, yeah, Danny Green's on the Lakers. I almost forgot.
So did Frank Vogel. Back to the starting lineup for the Lakers. Here's Murray. That's nice. Beautiful. Oh, and that's even nicer. What a finish.
God.
That's right up there with that spinning one he had on Rudy Gobert. Now LeBron with the quick push again. That misses. Nuggets with a 4-on-3. Murray with the pass fake. He tries to lay it in, and Grant puts it down. Look at this ridiculous move by Jamal Murray. He fakes the dunk, goes underneath LeBron, and gets his body hit, somehow finishes it. What a move.
Real.
That's just absolutely incredible work. He sets up this penetration with a nice like footwork move where he faked the 3-pointer and then got inside on KCP, gets past Dwight Howard and finishes an incredible move. And that tip by Grant did not count, obviously. Murray got fouled, so he's got a chance to do more damage here at the foul line. Murray traditionally up around a 90% free throw shooter. Missed a couple in the last game. He was only 4 out of 7, which was uncharacteristic. But those two get Denver right back within 4. You can tell, by the way, that LeBron is very concerned that whenever someone drives for a layup, usually Murray, even if they make it, he's going to push it hard down the other way. They tried that last possession. It just didn't work, and they missed. Here's Davis getting great separation on Millsap, but he's missed 3 in a row now. Murray has Davis. Millsap back to Jamal Murray. Pick and roll. Murray on the drive, crossing over. Ridiculous fader. Oh, just rims out. But Jokic kept it alive at the expense of KCP, and Denver will reset to bite into that 4-point lead.
Yeah, and at first I thought that was a foul by Jokic, but it was not. KCP just trying to get a handle on the ball, kind of flailed a little bit, but I didn't see a foul there.
Screen away for Murray. Jokic with the fake DHO. Missed the floater, though, over Davis. That's why it's so nice having that second big man there to contest, even if the first one gets beaten.
Yeah, Howard. Davis was sagging off Millsap there. That allowed him to be in position.
Now the LeBron Davis pick and roll. Engaging Jokic. LeBron stepping back and draws the switch. Late clock, though. LeBron not settling for that step back. Good help came from Murray, though, but that left Howard open for the and one dunk on the head of Grant.
And, I mean, it hasn't been as true in the last couple of minutes, but the defensive glass has been such a huge problem for the Denver Nuggets in this game. Lakers have 8 offensive rebounds, also have drawn a couple of fouls in that situation as well. Dwight Howard has 6 offensive rebounds himself. He already has a double-double in this game.
Yeah, Howard, I mean, he's looked so explosive as a Laker compared to where he was at 34 years old. To get back in the kind of condition, you know, he looks, I mean, he doesn't look like he did before all the injuries, but he looks like what he might have progressed to at age 34 without all the injuries. Jokic against Howard. Let's see if he can draw a foul here. Howard has defended him well one-on-one. Not that time. Jokic abused him with the spin move. And I think if I am the Lakers in a one-on-one against Jokic, I am really trying to force him right shoulder. He loves to get back and spin to that right-handed hook shot.
Let's see if the Lakers get the 2-for-1 here. They're moving really slowly.
LeBron against Millsap. Millsap does not contest the jumper. Lakers going cold from the outside, and they don't get the 2-for-1, as you mentioned. Now the Nuggets will dribble the air out of the ball with about a 1-second differential. Murray just wants to go one-on-one against Danny Green, it looks like. Howard just comes over to double pass behind Jokic. He recovers, goes for the floater. No, it's kicked out. Millsap beats the clock, and he's run into by Howard. No, just halftime. Never mind.
I mean, Millsap tried to sell it, but I think the contact was only on his hand after the ball was gone.
Yeah, Paul Millsap, known as for selling stuff a little bit, and everyone stopped. I thought a foul had been called, but apparently I was in error. But what I'm not in error about is that we're going to take a 10-minute break, and we'll be back before the start of the second half. Till then. All right, my video is frozen now, so we're going to try and fix that next. Bear with us here, please. All right, we are back, I hope. Again, just completely unaccounted for tech issues where my camera just stopped working, and so we had to restart the computer. But, hey, we didn't miss any scoring.
That's true.
We did miss Paul Millsap's 4th personal foul. And, yeah, it looks like he got the off arm up per his usual on the drive. Although he has gotten a little bit of that from Anthony Davis as well. So he'll sit down, and Craig is in. Craig guarding LeBron. That shifts Grant over to AD. Here's the drive by Green. Way high off the glass. Nice job getting it back by Craig. Murray in transition. Good transition defense by the Lakers. And now Jokic going to work with Craig. No, back to goal against Howard. Trying to get to that left shoulder. Now tries to draw the foul. Goes through his arm. And they're going to say this is a non-shooting foul. Despite the prayers of Nikola Jokic.
And I believe that is Dwight Howard's. That's only his second. He's been physical, but hasn't been called for that many fouls so far.
Yeah, he had that one early on Murray, and that's about it. They swing around to Grant as the Lakers failed to switch on that inbounds. LeBron thought that he was going to take Jokic, and Howard never got out on Jeremy Grant. They had a specific thing set up against that inbounds play, most likely, and Howard just didn't execute it. Here's a 3 from Davis up top. That goes down. Big shot for the Lakers as Denver had closed within 2. Help came on LeBron, and he sets up Davis pretty easily there. Harris was in no man's land. Murray breaks the ankles of Danny Green. Harris on the drive. LeBron stepping up nicely with help, forcing the miss. Here's Green. Quick release on that preferred right wing in transition. I think Raptors watchers said last year he shot like 45% on transition threes. Hasn't been quite that level this year, but he likes that right wing transition 3. Murray.
And Gary Harris shaded to LeBron there, and that's what opened up the passing angle.
Here's Jokic battling against KCP. Just shoots it over him. Again, he gets to that left shoulder. Much more comfortable there. Can do stuff with the right shoulder, but the left shoulder is really where it's at out of the post for him. A little bit more fatigue setting in now to the pace. They just switch Murray onto LeBron. LeBron wants to put him in the mix. Help comes from Craig. Davis attacking Grant off the dribble. That leaves KCP open as they helped out the strong side corner. 2 straight threes. Make it 3 straight threes, actually, for the Lakers now, much as they had that little flurry at the end of the second quarter, beginning of the third in Game 3. Back to a 9-point lead after it was cut to 2. Harris attacking LeBron. What a finish. No, it curls out. LeBron on the push. Leaves it for Howard. Jokic on the reach-in, and Howard will go to the line.
Yeah, and Howard might prefer that be called a non-shooting foul, but that's absolutely a shooting foul. Yeah, and the Lakers, I believe they were 5 of 17 on threes in the first half. So to get some, especially from support players, very important.
Yeah, this 9-2 run, which Howard looks to add to here after the Nuggets close within 2. We may look back on this as a critical portion of the game. Howard hits the first. Yeah, LeBron has been very engaged here to start the third, as he was in game number 3.
And just quick note, Dwight Howard, not the greatest free throw shooter. The the rebounders for the Lakers, not LeBron and AD, Danny Green and KCP. They're basically conceding that.
Yeah, they just want to help them conserve energy. Murray, pick and roll. Craig, who has been left free to fire, but he makes him pay that time. Big 3 by Torrey Craig to cut it to 7. Davis try to post up Howard on Jokic. That's not something that has worked all that well, but he's trying to foul a couple times there. LeBron way out from up top. Not a good possession for the Lakers. Basically 1 pass possession, or 2 passes, I should say, but never broke the paint at all. Murray gets the screen from Jokic, attacks Howard, gets him on his back beautifully. Man, that's just such good work from Jamal Murray. He's got so many little tricks in the pick and roll. That time Jokic never even got there for the screen. Murray just goes early and blows right by Howard, whose momentum was taking him the other direction, and gets inside of him for the layup.
Let's get to some questions. What is Plumlee's contract situation? Is Denver able to upgrade a backup center in the offseason? Plumlee will be an unrestricted free agent this offseason, so we'll see what happens there. Denver does have full bird rights on him, so they can retain him. But assuming the tax is a hard line or close to it, the other expenditures that are probably higher on their list, Jeremy Grant clearly above Plumlee, Millsap presumably if he wants to come back. So it might be hard for them to bring Plumlee back and fulfill their financial limitations. Let's see.
Does this playoff run change your opinion on Murray's ceiling? Oh, certainly. I mean, he's played better than I thought he would ever play, maybe over any, whatever this has been, 16-game, now I guess 18-game stretch of his career. So, yeah, I mean, clearly he's reached this in a way. If you're truly mean ceiling, then yes, this has been unbelievable for him to play at this level.
Does LeBron not have much of an offensive repertoire if he doesn't have a point guard switched on him? The Nuggets haven't done it. LeBron doesn't have a ton of like moves or anything like that. He hasn't really had to over the course of his career. He's an incredible passer. He can draw attention. He's a physical force. So no, but I mean he's successful without that. Though you can make an argument that as he ages, that maybe some of that gets a little bit harder for him to accomplish. But he's still, I mean, number 2 in MVP. So it is a limitation, but nobody's perfect.
I thought you were always through the roof on Murray. When he was drafted, yes, but he was drafted number 7. I think I had him number 3 on my board that year. It was Simmons, Brown, Murray, and then I think I had Ingram. Ingram after him, and a lot of people after Ingram's regular season are like, no, actually, Ingram should have been number 1. I think I probably would stick with that, but I'm between. Brown has been great in these playoffs as well. Murray has been obviously unbelievable. Simmons may not deserve to be number 1 in that group anymore if we were to do a redraft, but a supposedly bad draft, all of a sudden these guys are looking pretty good at the top of that draft. But then Murray, I think the max contract people, the organization at least, seem to get ahead of themselves at least on him, and then then he caught up to where they had him, and I was actually a little lower. That'll happen a lot where I'll be high on a guy in the draft, and then it turns out he's good, and then the hype machine gets ahead of where I'm at, and sometimes it'll stay ahead of where I'm at, but sometimes the guy will be worthy of the hype. Murray's certainly been that in these playoffs.
The all-timer for that with me was not in basketball, was Alex Smith in football. I was like, he's a first-round pick, but nobody knew who he was. And then he goes up to number 1, and I go, wait a second. And then the team that I root for drafts him and over Aaron Rodgers, and I go crazy. Would Simmons and Jokic fit at all?
No.
Sure. I mean, I see. I think they would defensively. I think having Simmons there, but the problem would be Jokic wouldn't have the ball. You run into the Plumlee problem off on the half
Yeah,
court
you
offense.
can't play a two-man game with them. That's what makes Jokic so deadly.
That's true.
Caldwell Pope into Jokic, tries a really bad pass, and had no chance.
I would assume it was tipped.
Yeah, Jokic got a piece of it. So still 12 to work with for the Lakers. Not a ton of spacing here for LA. They just swing it to the weak side. Now LeBron's going to have to create. Caldwell Pope eludes Murray. That's way off. He tried to draw the foul and didn't really worry about the shot as much. Jokic looking for Murray again. Well denied by AD, but he just runs away instead. And finally, Jamal Murray misses a shot. That was one of his better looks of the night. Green in the corner, swings it to Davis against Harris. That's a mismatch. LeBron looking to post up at the elbow. They get it to him. Let's see if the help comes here. Jokic trying to come over along the baseline. Gets there, LeBron, and it's just, LeBron is so good, although he looks to have maybe hurt his knee a little bit here. But LeBron is just so good at this. As soon as the defender who comes over into the middle of the lane has to leave again, LeBron starts his drive. And so really, if you're that defender, you need to just be standing there. Don't come over ahead of time unless there's like 4 on the shot clock. You just got to be ready, and as soon as LeBron actually starts his move, then you go, because he's going to just wait until you've cleared out, and then he'll go.
Yeah, it's sort of like reverse 2.9ing to try to, because he's so good at timing it out.
I mean, he's been doing that move since 2011 against the Chicago Bulls. Like, he's got it figured out. Now he gets his own free throw rebound. Oh, that is inexcusable by the Nuggets. That's the job of, Jamal Murray did not get inside of him. That's the job of Jamal Murray, the guy out at the top to box out the free throw shooter, because he can leave earlier and get there. Now Jokic on the drive leaves for Craig, who finishes. Craig is an excellent finisher. And Jokic really finding something one-on-one against Howard in a way that he did not in that matchup early in the first 2 games of the series. I want to involve Jokic in pick and roll, swinging around. KCP, and Jokic didn't get there quickly enough. He's got to, once he got out on that pick and roll, he's got to get all the way down there to be the help guy, and he just didn't get there.
Well, and that's especially true now with Millsap out of the game. There just isn't anybody else who was in the vicinity.
Now, Murray, of course, gives up a straight blow-by, too. It's not all Jokic's fault. Harris, stepping back with 9 on the shot clock, rims it out. AD getting a rebound. He had 0 first-half rebounds, so the rebounding was not a problem for the Lakers as it was in game number 3. Here's LeBron fading away. Good rebound by Jokic. He'll push it up. Howard has to race back in front of him. Trying to find Murray on the handoff. Mid-range, Murray gets Howard. Crosses over, going into KCP, and KCP has to commit the foul. Murray hopefully okay here. It looks like he got hit on that foul by KCP. Yeah, we're seeing this replay again as Jokic just couldn't quite get there. And he kind of sauntered back into the play thinking his work was done on the initial pick and roll. But the Lakers, great job of moving the ball quickly to open up that KCP drive.
And Jamal Murray's line, 19 points, 8 of 12 from the field, missed both of his threes, 8 of 10 inside the arc, and then now he has free throws.
Yeah, again, I mean, just the dance of these two guys, Murray and Jokic, the Lakers do not have an answer for it defensively. They're doing a lot of late switching. Murray, that doesn't look good at all on that right index finger from Murray.
Ow.
Hopefully, I mean, it looks like he's okay, and it's just more of a garden variety sprain than anything serious.
And you can see the way KCP ran in there to go after to block Jamal Murray. That's what Murray should have done on the LeBron miss.
LeBron out, Rondo in. They want to get KCP off a couple of screens. No advantage gain there. AD sets the screen. Rondo has not done as much in pick and roll. AD, good help from Craig to bottle him up. Now Rondo has to create late in the clock for a three. Oh, that's a killer for the Nuggets.
Yeah, they did a great job defensively on the possession, and Rondo just hits a tough shot.
Here's Murray again into the lane. Oh, what footwork there. He completely wrong-footed the defense and shot that off his right foot. Man, he's just been so impressive. Rondo intercepted by Jokic, that's the second time Jokic has had a deflection on the pick and roll in this quarter.
Well, I also think the Lakers are getting better at timing up and anticipating Rondo's passes, and that's something that happens over the course of a 7-game series. You get used to the way that a guy plays, especially when you're sharing minutes with him.
Oh, and what a pass by Rondo. They immediately went after, I believe that was Porter Jr. They cut to it late, so we'll try and tell you what happened on that. No, it was Morris, but that was a great pass from Rondo. Murray, left-handed pass, sets it up for Grant's three. Nuggets have had a number of threes spin in and out.
And I believe that's 2 for 5 from long distance for Jeremy Grant now.
Rondo pick and roll is going to try and go at Porter. They will actually switch this. Now Rondo attacking Porter, and just whatever the confidence that you get, whatever you're going at Michael Porter Jr. Must be amazing. And the Lakers slowly but surely pushing it out to an 11-point advantage here.
Yeah, and that is a 22-16 run to start this third quarter. And remember, the Lakers had a very high-scoring first as well, which was, again, a lot of starters versus starters. Where would CJ McCollum be a good fit and get the Blazers a good return? I mean, it is a very – I think CJ is kind of an underrated – I wouldn't say it's necessarily like a terrible contract yet, but we're getting to the point. I think it's a negative value contract at this point. Now, that does not mean it's universal for every team. When I use that, I mean it as a catch-all. So that is like the average of all 30 NBA teams. I don't know who needs that right now to really elevate the floor of their offense. So the question is about CJ McCollum potential destinations. I think of him as a negative trade value right now with the contract, the extension that he signed.
Yeah, well, negative trade value just depends who he is being compared to. And sometimes these negative trade value guys, as long as they give you some value at the beginning, teams are willing to deal with that.
Sure.
It's the guys who, you could make the argument that he's worth it right now. And so sometimes, like, teams aren't looking that far ahead in the future. Now, of course, it's only that extension is only kicking in after this season.
Right.
So that's pretty rough to deal with.
CJ for Tobias Harris. Oof. I don't know the money that those two guys are making offhand. My instinct is that
it's pretty even. Pretty even.
I don't. So it'd be interesting because Harris defense become one of the few forwards for the Blazers, and the Blazers don't have a 2-guard roster, so you kind of create an absence for them.
I don't think Harris helps the Blazers at all. I don't think they would do that. I mean, he's a little younger, but he's not the answer to their woes on the perimeter defensively. And, I mean, I guess Trent would then be your starting 2, and is Harris your 3 or your 4? It's just like
maybe you keep Ariza, I guess, and then you play Ariza and Harris together. I don't think Portland does it.
No, it's particularly because, I mean, those are both high character guys, but CJ is such a big part of what they're doing. Like, it's got to be a real home run deal for them to move him, I think.
Oh, yeah. Is Trent not a 2? Yeah, Trent could play the 2. He's been better at small forward in the bubble and then in the early rounds of the playoffs than I anticipated. But, yeah, he probably is more natural as a 2 than a 3. Question from Mustard Overlord. Do you think the Nuggets are looking better than the East finalists? Are they pretty comparable to like Miami? I think Miami has looked better than Denver. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to pick Miami in a series. Should it go that direction, I would need to think about it a lot because there's, the styles makes fights argument of it. But no, I mean, remember that in these series where Denver has gone down 3-1, they've gone down 3-1, and Miami has only lost 3 times in the entire playoff so far, twice in the playoffs so far. And it's not like they played terrible opposition or anything crazy like that. They played better opposition arguably than the Nuggets have.
No, I agree with you. And someone asked too about. Well, I guess we'll talk about this. Remind me to talk about this next break of Ethan's article comparing the Nuggets to the Warriors. But let's talk a little basketball here with the Lakers building out this lead a little bit. Looks like they're back in the zone out of the timeout. Morris directing traffic. They've wasted the whole possession just trying to figure out what they're in. Now it's Jokic at the foul line against Caruso. He goes right at him and draws the foul. Caruso not in agreement with that one.
I didn't see much there, but actually, I need to push back my replay TV. It's a little bit too close.
I know. Mine's too far away.
Challenges. It's a
Yeah,
small
we haven't
thing.
had it. We haven't had a challenge yet in this game, actually.
Oh no, I mean technological challenges.
Yeah,
Not-
no, I know.
not-
I was. I don't know what I was doing. It's been a long
Don't worry.
day.
It has been. So now the lead is back down to 10, and we'll see if the Lakers can get a good shot here. Or sorry, 9. I can count.
Rondo, quick attack, and Jokic with a bad reach in. Is that his third? Uh-oh. Hopefully Rondo is not injured here.
That is Nikola Jokic's third foul. See it.
All right, looks like he's going to be okay.
Well, did he hit the stanchion? Is the question I have. And that
I think it was more
shoulder?
just. I think it's more Jokic actually the contact hitting him on the arm that caused issue. And Rondo, I mean, he's had more like hand and elbow and finger issues than like anyone I can ever remember. I mean, if you think about the number one, he had this finger issue. Now he had, I think it was, I can't remember if it was a wrist or an elbow or both in the 2017 playoffs. The 2011 playoffs, so kind of a dirty play by Dwayne Wade messed up his elbow. I think it's just bad luck more than anything. But Rondo missed 1 out of 2. Grant turning the corner on Davis. Hooks it up. Nice rebound by Murray, though. Kuzma did well to stay with him. Now it's Jokic underneath against Davis. Goes to the right shoulder and scored that time. Beautiful move against Anthony Davis. LeBron continuing to rest. He's going to get a nice little break. Here's Rondo blowing by, and the pass fake, just abusing the Nuggets. Rondo has looked so fast. He's just going right past that aggressive pick and roll coverage from Jokic.
Yeah, and that's one of the other downsides of bringing your center out is if they get past him, if he doesn't provide a seal, then it's like a 3-on-2.
Murray looking to blow by Davis here into the lane. Grant, nice closeout by KCP, who's great at that. But that leaves Jokic open, gets Caruso to fly by, and misses. It's so rare when Nikola Jokic misses a jump shot these days. Rondo now setting up Kuzma. A little off balance, though. And Jokic on the box out goes to Morris. 4-on-3. Attacking against Caruso into the lane. Fouled.
And Rondo was up there trying to get that offensive rebound. He was kind of in the vicinity anyway, never gets back, and that was a part of why the Nuggets had a 4-on-3 there.
Yeah, Rondo with didn't do the fake behind the back pass that time, but he just completely wrong-footed Murray.
And something I don't think I've brought up enough in this game is this switch in the possession game advantage. So the Lakers, they've only turned the ball over 5 times in the entire game, and they also have a 9-3 offensive rebound advantage. So that has allowed them to put up more shots. So even though the Nuggets are shooting a ridiculous 55.6% from the field, they still trail.
One out of 2 for Morris. 9-point game here. Pick and roll again. Rondo has been good in the pick and roll in this series. Takes a tough step back, really feeling it, but he was totally off balance that time.
Yeah, that was with like 15 on the shot clock.
James is back in. He's guarding Murray. Porter against his opposite number, Kuzma, trying him one-on-one. Makes him fly by on the step back. That is a ridiculous shot by Michael Porter Jr. Great footwork to do that step back and then the pump fake to get him fly by. You don't see that very often. Rondo with that Rondo fake. This time it gets intercepted. No spacing on the weak side for the Lakers on that possession. Here's Porter. Leaves it for Grant. Grant into Caruso, who clubs him. And hopefully that will be considered a shooting foul. Maybe not, though. I don't know. He kind of jumps into him first before beginning the shooting motion. This is this ridiculous Porter move.
And that is 3 fouls on Alex Caruso. He is the first Laker with 3 fouls. Torrey Craig has 3, Jokic has 3, and Paul Millsap has 4 for the Nuggets. Millsap has only played 9 minutes in this game.
Well, Denver in the bonus, so it'll be free throws for Grant regardless. And this is a big close to the quarter for the Nuggets to get right back into contact where they were at the end of the first half. They, of course, had closed within 2. Then the Lakers pushed it to 11, 82-71, and now the Nuggets on a run of their own. Plumlee replacing Jokic. We'll see how long Jokic spends on the bench here. Lakers a little bit early for the 2-for-1, so likely will just run their normal offense, trying to involve Porter in pick and roll. They get the switch. James says, hey, everyone get out of here. But now he's got Caruso and Rondo on the weak side. Let's see if the help comes off of those guards underneath. LeBron on the attack. Oh, they help off the strong side corner. That is terrible from Plumlee. And they're very lucky that Davis missed that. But I think we're going to stay here as Porter Jr. got it taken away by Rondo. So Rondo's little gamble on the offensive glass pays off.
Yeah, it looks like he pops the ball kind of off of Michael Porter's head. Though that might have touched Rondo again.
It might well have. But no challenge forthcoming from Malone. LeBron backing it out. Let's see where the help is going to come from here. They got Rondo in the strong side corner. That's a guy you can help off of there. They give up the switch pretty easily here. They're not going with that conventional defense. And there, LeBron makes them pay with the foul. Little overhelp that time. The flare screen is set on the weak side. Nuggets overreact to that, and then Davis wide open underneath for free throws. You see 2 Nuggets running at Kyle Kuzma on that play. This will shock you, Danny. Mason Plumlee was involved in a miscommunication on a screen.
Never happened before. Anthony Davis never been the beneficiary of that before. And after an absolutely ridiculous start to this game, remember Anthony Davis had their first 10 points. He has calmed down a little bit, but still ridiculous. 24 points, 8 of 13 from the field, and I believe it's 6 of 6 from the line before these.
Davis hits that one to push it to a 6-point Nugget advantage, and they'll take the last shot of the quarter. Might have thought about bringing Jokic back in here for this one.
I agree.
Here's Murray on the drive. Porter eluding Kuzma. Scores! Michael Porter. And man, Jamal Murray, his distribution has been so good in this game. He just drives through those 2 Lakers at the top against the zone, puts Kuzma into difficulty having to guard 2 guys on the weak side, and set up the right man. And LeBron James can't believe it. So a 3-point game here. And I don't know. I think if this is still close with 5 minutes to go, to me it's advantage Nuggets given the issues with the Lakers' crunch time offense.
Yeah, and remember, in the fourth quarter of Game 3, when the Lakers made their comeback, that was mostly transition offense that made it happen. They were getting all of those steals, Rondo in the zone, and their half-court offense wasn't really that much better. And if the Nuggets just can hold on to the ball a little bit better here, I think that is a significant advantage. And so something I'm going to be keeping a close eye on here is who plays and when. I mean, I think Jamal Murray has sat his last time in this game. I think he's playing the full 12 if they need him in the fourth quarter, so that's a pretty big advantage for the Nuggets. Jokic might sit a little bit longer, but probably not very much, and then we'll see what happens with LeBron and AD.
Yeah, LeBron will usually get a little bit of a rest in the middle of the fourth quarter, and we'll see whether they feel like they can do that again or not. I mean, this How would you feel about this series if the Nuggets win tonight?
I mean, I would expect it to go 7. I would probably still have the Lakers as the favorite in the series by a little bit, but Denver absolutely has a shot. They have a shot to win it right now, and that will go down to significantly if it goes to 3-1. But oh no, they're playing exceedingly well. We got a reminder that you wanted to talk about Ethan's article. I have not read it yet, so I cannot comment.
Thanks. Yeah. So I mean, I think basically to summarize, he said that these Nuggets have some parallels with the 2013 Warriors. I would disagree with that. I mean, that was their first time being any good. Steph Curry became might be, at least on a per play basis, the second greatest point guard of all time. And I don't think Jokic is going to get to that level. Offensively, I think maybe you could say yes, but that Warriors team had so much more defensive talent than the Nuggets did, and the Warriors also found a way to add a huge talent in Andre Iguodala after that, which I'm not sure that the Nuggets have the ability to do that. Whether that's just the market, the lack of flexibility. They also have, I would say, probably have worse ownership in terms of really being willing to spend and push the envelope.
Well,
So
I mean,
I don't think that I agree with that comparison a lot, other than that maybe Jokic is underrated in a similar way as Steph Curry.
yeah, that sounds reasonable to me, but I will not comment because I didn't see a piece. Sign and trade Millsap for Oubre. The Suns can just sign if they want. The Suns want Millsap, they could just sign him, and they don't have to give Kelly Oubre. All they have to do is they could either sign him with the limited cap space they have, or they could just let Saric go. They're not going to give up a player they like for that.
All right, start of the fourth, 3-point Lakers lead. Nuggets trailed by 11, but Porter Jr.'s huge threes got them right back into it here. Nuggets start possession with the Lakers trying to extend their defense. Danny Green out here at this part of the game, which he normally isn't. So no JaVale. Instead it's Markieff Morris at center with this group, as it has most of the time. Murray, what a move. Again, but he missed the layup. That was just the way he's just wrong footing guys with some of these finishes are amazing. LeBron trying to put Murray in the mix, goes to the spin move, has to throw it out. Plumlee tries to draw the charge and does. The old Duke scoot worked for him that time.
Well, and I think it was Morris using his off arm that was the big problem there. I think if Morris just tries to dribble through him without using his left arm, probably gets the call himself.
Jokic chilling on the bench right now, as is Anthony Davis. Plumlee handing off to Morris. He's going to attack Danny Green. Goes right at him, and Danny Green is going to get the foul. He had the off arm. Oh, no, I guess he got him with the left arm. Excuse me.
And something to remember, fouls with the second unit early in the fourth quarter, both these teams, getting to the free throw line could be a real saving grace for them late. So we'll see if that continues. Both these lineups have some guys that can't commit fouls, and especially this Lakers team having so little help defense that might create some problems.
Yeah, Jamal Murray on pace. Again, he's actually on pace to play 46 minutes in this game. And he's showing no sign of slowing down, and just in incredible condition to play this well and for this many minutes. Screening action on the weak side. LeBron sets a monster screen. Porter miscommunicating with Craig, but they don't get anything out of it. Now LeBron going to try and go at Porter. Late clock. Help comes from Morris. Caruso. Good run out by Plumlee. And they get it underneath. No, shot clock violation. That was perfectly timed from Plumlee to run out on Caruso at the moment when he wouldn't be able to make another pass.
Yeah, and it's a good job of threat assessment, daring the other team to make an extra pass when they can't.
Lakers trying to extend their defense out, but looks like they're still in a man-to-man. Murray off of 2 screens. Morris getting out on the floor. Get it to Plumlee. No advantage gained on that. Plumlee going to just try and go at Morris. Now he kicks it out. Late clock. Murray will have to create. Plumlee stupidly brings the screen over. Then he has to throw it up. See, he's got Caruso one-on-one. There's no reason to run over there and set the screen. And now LeBron going at Plumlee, and he's going to get the N1. Well, Plumlee made one nice play, and his quota was apparently used up for the game.
Wait, did they call that a non-shooting foul? I'm going to have to see.
Look at this ridiculous shot that he tries. Yeah, I guess it was non-shooting. I apologize. And now they run that same play again, and Plumlee gets caught up on it. Monte Morris is so pissed off at him right now. The same play that they've been running for Anthony Davis, they just ran it for Markieff Morris, and they got a layup out of it. Now it's Plumlee. Not a threat from there. Craig stepping back behind. Oh, man, that just squirts out. How many Nuggets three-pointers have gone in and out, and nobody knows which direction this is going.
And the early stages of that was a pretty lethargic closeout by LeBron, and Craig, I think, had more airspace than I expected him to have.
Lakers can't believe this. They were going to rule it Nuggets ball. And, yeah, it may have hit Caruso again there for a second time.
Well, and considering the one they got wrong with MPJ in the first and earlier, that's fair.
Murray throws it away on the inbound. Not good. Here's LeBron going at Craig, blows by him, stopped by Plumlee that time, and he is going to get the foul call. I'm not sure whether it was Craig or Plumlee that got him.
It was the ref on the far side, so I'm guessing it was the Craig swing.
And the Nuggets had some success going smaller at the start of the fourth with no Plumlee in Game 3. And I would advise doing that again.
Just
I'm sure that shocks you guys.
Somebody asked how the Warriors' defense was that 12-13 year, and they were around league average. And remember, that was before they got Iguodala and before Draymond was inserted into the starting lineups. That was the early stages that they were already pretty good was impressive.
Well, and more than that, Bogut really didn't play that much during that regular season, and then he played in the playoffs, and their defense was actually really good in those playoffs. So it's probably one of the underrated aspects of that. James has the second free throw. He's been extremely busy here early in the fourth. Yeah, I'm curious to know if Nuggets watchers would agree with me. I think Jokic is better than Plumlee is defensively, despite the athleticism gap. Grant off the flare screen set by Plumlee. Misses that. Murray went for the offensive board. Now they got to get back. They don't match up against LeBron, so he's got the advantage. He's just going to back down here on Murray. Davis is back in the game after only a 2.5-minute rest. Davis into the lane. Morris. Oh, nice pass. And he's fouled from behind. Anthony Davis is by Plumlee, who cut backdoor on him.
Davis passes, then beats Plumlee down the floor and behind, fouls him with the left hand, probably fouls him with the right too. And I believe that's the third Nuggets foul early in this. So the Lakers are now one foul away from shooting free throws the rest of regulation, and we're 9 minutes away from the end of it.
Yeah, and I think it's time for Jokic to come back, and there he is. I think this is...
Well, and when you consider all the stoppages that are still left in this game, I might have been a little bit more aggressive with it. Both coaches have 4 timeouts left. Mandatories, 1 discretionary, and then the 2 for the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, Murray is looking a little tired here. And does he look tired to you? He looks like he's definitely struggling right now.
Not insanely so, but not as much as I've noticed was that game 2. But yeah, he does look tired. That was game 3.
Murray coming off a couple of screens, setting up Grant. He's going to try AD, goes at him. AD with the block. Jokic missing the tip. Jokic keeping it alive. Finally, the Lakers corral, and they're going to get Jokic with a foul. That's 4 fouls already on Denver in this quarter.
And that's the 4th foul on Nikola Jokic as well.
Yeah, that one, unlucky. Davis made a couple of plays. He does well to get back into it here. and get this rebound because he got knocked out of the play initially by Grant. Now it's LeBron at the elbow. They're going to screen Davis out of the corner. They actually get through it that time with Morris helping from the opposite side. Now it's LeBron against Jokic one-on-one. He'll take the three. Plenty of room, but not even close. Now Murray can push it up. Oh, he totally blew it by Danny Green.
Oof. Right.
What a move. That. Jamal Murray is just abusing whoever is guarding him, except maybe KCP is the only guy who can stay with him right now. Davis going to try Jokic, cut off. Oh, that's nice second move, and he's going to go to the foul line here. I think they're going to get Porter on the reach-in. And now with Davis at center, I'm curious to see whether they're going to go back to Howard at some point. You'd like to have – it's a little more difficult for the Nuggets right now because with AD and LeBron both out there and the fifth foul, they got Jokic for that, so that's a key. I think that you got to stay with him here, though, Danny.
Yeah, I mean, you could maybe give him a little rest at some point, but I don't think that's now. I think you need to keep him in to make sure you stanch the bleeding, try to keep it at around 5-6, and then maybe get him like a minute or two around the 6-minute mark, 5-minute mark.
Yeah, well,
I do not agree with this.
Yeah, that's not what's happening. I mean, yeah, with 8 minutes left in the game, I think maybe the thought is, look, he's just gotten 2 in a row. He picks up fouls in bunches. Just give him like 1 minute here. But any more than that, I think would be a serious miscalculation. Especially now that you're down 8. I mean, like the game is slipping away right now.
And now let's see if the Lakers pressure Jamal Murray more aggressively here because they're just his replacement of a threat.
Millsap on the drive. Leaves it for Grant. Grant with the double pump jam. And I thought Markieff Morris was way too aggressive that time. Coming up, Millsap shooting a floater is much less worrisome than Grant getting a dunk. AD was right behind Millsap still. He had that controlled. LeBron getting his normal rest again. We'll see how quickly he comes back. Davis looks like he got hit in the midsection. Caruso has to create. That's not his game. They'll switch this on Morris. Tried to throw it into the corner, and 2 Lakers were all over that. Let's see what happened to Davis here. Yeah, just takes the hard shoulder to the chest. Murray against Caruso. I'd try to space the floor out here for Caruso or to guard Murray. Here's Murray. What another ridiculous shot. Who is this guy? Davis against Millsap. Rondo and Caruso on the floor. Not a lot of spacing here now. They try to get into the post to Davis with 10 to shoot. Help coming from the top on with Grant. Davis, tough shot over Millsap. And are they going to get this foul? Yeah, looks like Davis might have hurt the ankle here. This is not good at all. Millsap stepping under, and this is probably going to be a flagrant, I would imagine.
Oof, and we'll see if Davis looks okay. Yeah, I mean, Millsap's in the landing area.
Yeah, I don't know if does he actually hit him here?
I don't know that.
I'd like to see a different angle, but that does not look good when you land like that on the ankle. He looks like he's still just trying to get through it, lacing up the sneaker. I don't think this is this bad. That's my hope that he's going to be able to continue.
Let's hope. I mean,
we never really got a good look at this, but I'm guessing this is going to get reviewed. But I mean, given the way that foul has been called in these playoffs, we're probably looking at a flagrant. And with Denver, as soon as Jokic went out, they scored a couple quickly. They were within 4. This could end up being a huge play in the game, although obviously the health of Davis is even bigger. So let's hit some questions here.
This is more of a statement from Jared Goodman. The Heat are winning the finals. I mean, I think at this exact moment in time, I think you'd have to say they're the most likely champion just because they're up 3-1. They could potentially be favorites, and I mean, and with the Anthony Davis, we don't know what it is. I would say they're the most likely champions. I wouldn't say definitively they're going to win. They have a good shot. How bad was that call on Jokic's fourth foul? It wasn't great. I mean, Jokic's fourth foul was. I think you described it as unlucky. I mean, there was some contact there. The fifth one wasn't great either.
Yeah, I mean the fourth one was just, he's going for the offensive rebound and Davis made a great play to take it away and he just kind of got caught. Yeah, the fifth one though, and I was starting to make this point when Jokic was out there that with AD at center and LeBron out there as well, the lineup that they had was really difficult with Grant at the 4 and no Craig. You basically had to put Jokic on AD. They would have loved to, I'm sure, have hidden Jokic on Markieff Morris, but then they had 3 other guards out there and Grant. So I didn't really like Malone's lineup there to not have Millsap or Craig out there, and you're forcing Jokic to guard AD with that group.
A fake trade from Noah. Miles Turner for Kleba and Curry. Would love to see Turner on the Mavs. To me, Porzingis is the center of the present in the future for Dallas. You slide him over, and I think it creates problems. So if you didn't have Porzingis, I think Turner would be a wonderful fit. But they already have that guy in Porzingis, so they don't need to use resources in that direction. I also like Kleba and Curry for the Pacers. They both would help, but it's not like that's a huge return or anything like that. Is Rondo LeBron's best passing teammate ever? So Wade would be a candidate there. I'm trying to think because LeBron's had a lot of really short-lived teammates, but off the top of my head, probably. I mean, Rondo was a wonderful passer.
Yeah, I mean, simply as just if you're only looking at passing, I mean, Rondo is one of the best passers that we've seen. So I think you probably would have to say that, yeah. I mean, he's emphasizes his own passing at times to his detriment, but if you're just saying how is he as a passer, all right, let's get a look at this here. AD is going to stay in the game apparently. And
he did catch Millsap's heel.
Yeah, no, so that should be a flagrant.
A quick question we could ask. Somebody asked if the Timberwolves can they make the playoffs next year. I think they can, but I wouldn't expect it. I would actually, knowing what we know right now, I would say the Wolves are the least likely West team to make the playoffs next year.
So, no flagrant. I don't know if they even reviewed it. And maybe because Millsap was like running the other way, it was somehow okay. But like, I mean, he backs right into him. Like, how is that not something that's going to get looked at? I really don't understand it. But it's 2 garden variety free throws. We'll have to see how Davis is moving. And he misses that one. Morris keeps it alive, but Millsap controls. And I'm going right at Davis now in pick and roll. And Murray is going to draw the foul on the ground. That's interesting. Yes, that is the right call.
Yeah, that was before he pulled the ball. That's a good call. We'll see if they. I mean, Davis was not moving well. Yeah, Murray hadn't gathered yet. That's not a shooting foul.
Yep. Now they want to involve AD in that pick and roll. He's guarding Morris. Here's Murray. What a shot again!
Amazing.
This is one of the greatest shot-making displays that I've ever seen. Like, those last 2 floaters, and then that layup against LeBron in the first half, like, it's ridiculous. Now, here's Davis. Easy alley-oop on that open side pick and roll. Rondo continuing to cause problems for the Nuggets in pick and roll. And just being a little more aggressive, looking for those layups, has really opened up his passing game out of those plays.
And so, Nate, because what kind of movements are hard for AD with this kind of an ankle sprain?
Lateral.
Yeah.
Here's Morris blowing by him, and it was his left ankle, right? So, yeah, you see that. That's actually a perfect example of it right there. As he tries to close out, he would have had to plan on that left foot and did not look like he wanted to do that. Now it's LeBron against Porter. Crossover right through him. And it's just, at this point, once he's beaten you, just don't foul him, should be your mantra. Look at this shot. Off his left foot, left hand, falling down. Awesome contest. I'm going to continue to go at Davis here. Davis is hiding out right now. It looks like on Monte Morris.
And remember they're bringing him back in. Okay, so that was a shorter rest. We'll
Yeah.
see if.
And I mean, we criticized it, but it paid off because they actually narrowed the lead down from 8-3 with another point pending here for James. James gets that one. 4-point Laker lead. Another awesome game developing here in the bubble. Now they want to involve Rondo in pick and roll with James guarding Jamal Murray now. Murray goes down, and they're going to get LeBron with a blocking foul here, and he can't believe it. He did not even touch him. Maybe there was a trip involved, or I shouldn't say he doesn't touch him with his arms here. Oh, no, he did get one little tiny hit with his left arm. I don't think it even mattered, but that was enough to give the ref to call it.
Catnip for me because I believe that's going to be free throws because the Nuggets are in the bonus. Oh, no, never mind. They're not. The Lakers are in the bonus. I was wrong.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be a challenge here from Vogel, it looks like. And Murray, he looks to have, is that old troublesome quad for him again? Maybe they said that James got him by sticking the knee out. And my belief is that this one is going to be upheld. But I want to see another replay on it before I stick with that.
What do you think about the kind of consequences of this? If they say that it was not a foul, then it would be a jump ball, correct? So and this is a non-shooting foul. So it's like
I don't know that it even would be.
Would it just be Denver ball? Like think about what is the upside of this? LeBron is not remotely in foul trouble. He has 2. It would be a team foul. So
I don't think this is free throws because that foul is the 4th on the Lakers according to the box score. Yeah, I mean I think at best I don't think this would be a jump ball because there wasn't a shot attempt.
Yeah,
Murray just went down. He still had possession, so
it'd be an inadvertent whistle and Denver had possession. So I mean, to me, like my big beef with this is it's exceedingly limited upside. It's just catering to your star player.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe because it's an inadvertent whistle, it is a jump ball. Yeah, let's see what happens if you win. I don't think you're even going to win it to begin with, right? I mean, low upside and not a huge chance of winning it either. Because I think LeBron kind of got him with his legs a little bit to trip him, and he also briefly gets a forearm on him. I don't know if that forearm disrupted his rhythm and balance and whatever other adjectives they use to describe that. Anyway, let's take some questions.
Do you expect Gary Harris to bounce back next year? I mean, defensively, I think he'll be the player that he's been. Offensively, I don't know what's wrong with his shot. So I think he'll be better offensively than he was, but I don't have a clear read on like what happened. It wasn't like the Danny Green, had a lingering issue and didn't look like the same guy as last year with the Spurs. I mean, Gary Harris has dealt with a bunch of stuff, but I don't think it's quite that. Do the Nugs start Murray, Barton, MPJ, Grant, Jokic next year? I think they probably start Harris over Barton and then use Barton as the 6th man like they did previously, but they'll have options. They could start Barton theoretically at the 2. They could also, if Porter Jr. is not doing it, then it's kind of like the threat of playing Barton to try to keep MPJ doing better, but he's been better defensively since the beginning of the first round. See. Max, you see Jeff T getting this offseason. I mean, I don't even think he's going to get the full taxpayer mid-level. I think he's getting, might get more than the minimum, but I don't think he's getting that much more. There aren't that many teams that need a starting point guard. There's an outside shot somebody like Detroit, if they trade Derrick Rose, would do it, but I just don't think there's a constituency.
So Lakers lose the challenge. Yeah, LeBron kind of bumps into him a little bit. So let's see how everyone's moving here now. they've actually got Markieff Morris guarding Jokic, interestingly enough. They're hiding Davis right now on Millsap. They knock it away, and now it's Rondo looking to push it. Sets up KCP, right wing three. Big shot.
Huge shot. Pushes the lead back up to 7, 5 minutes to go about.
How did that turnover happen? I was actually looking at AD. I missed it.
Markieff Morris tipped the pass.
Yeah. Here's Murray setting up Millsap, who tried to drift in from the corner, but he hits the three right back.
Well, and
Great
Davis
footwork.
went in to help, but then couldn't get out. He can't close out right now.
Yeah, Millsap started his cut and then backed out for the three. That's very difficult footwork. James going to attack Jokic with the 5 fouls. They may want to send a double team here at some point. It's Markieff Morris rather than Caruso in this closing group right now. James, that is just a batting practice jumper, and he missed it. LeBron James' jump shot really wanes and waxes compared to where it was, maybe in the first half of this decade. Now here's Millsap against KCP using the off arm. KCP with the strip. Then Millsap just trips Davis behind the play. Everyone seems okay. 4-on-4. Millsap looks like he's seems to have injured something as well. James against Murray. Size mismatch. He'll drive it. Help coming over from Jokic. He gets a hand on it. Now it's Morris leaving it for Rondo, who is under the basket for some reason, and he's blocked from behind. Shot clock violation, and that actually hurts the Nuggets that they called that.
Yeah, that is the type of shot clock violation that I would actually like to see them play advantage on more often, because Denver had control of it so quickly after the shot clock violation.
So Malone is going to take his use it or lose it. We're going to be spending a lot of time here. I'm going to take the tweets off, but we're going to be spending a lot of time here taking questions over the next 5 minutes or so. So let's do that right now.
See. Would the Heat be the worst team to win the finals ever? You know the history better than I, but my instinct is no.
The worst team to win the finals ever. The worst regular season team?
Because, there was
it's basically
Houston. Wasn't there the Houston team in the lockout season?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was. But, no, not the lockout season. It was 1995.
Oh, yeah.
But they also traded for Drexler, and they had one of the greatest players of all time, Hakeem Olajuwon. So, sorry, I'm messing with the tweets and stuff here.
Somebody asked who can convince Malone to cut Plumlee from the rotation. The answer could be Tim Connolly this offseason by just not having him on the team.
Oh, here's another drive from Murray, and just couldn't finish it over LeBron. That was great defense by LeBron, and then he comes right back for the layup.
And I didn't see a foul there. There was some contact, but I don't think there was enough to call it on LeBron.
And now we're going to get another foul in favor of the Nuggets, and this will be free throws for Monte Morris. Sorry, Danny, you're relegated to less of the screen here when we took the tweets off.
That's fine. I don't care.
Here's Morris, and he's going to draw another one, and that'll count. So it was not free throws. I guess the foul count was wrong, but Morris makes good on a chance for a three-point play here. He goes into that outside arm of Markieff Morris. Going to be a foul every time. And it's pretty amazing. I mean, that foul, basically, nobody ever drew that foul 5 years ago. And that's probably the play that is most often called a foul now in the NBA. Drive into the guy and just throw a shot up and force him to call a foul.
Keep an eye on the process and the shot locations for the Lakers in these last couple minutes. That's been a big problem for them in this series.
KCP off the handoff. Davis has been pretty inactive. Yeah, he really can't move at all. He's going to try and post up now, and Millsap, he needs a crowd. Oh, and AD just loses it with 6 on the shot clock.
And that was a possession where I believe LeBron never touched the ball.
Yeah, he's going to have to drive it here, and I think the Rondo pick and roll has been pretty effective for them also. They're going to try and switch this action now. No, they're not. They just have LeBron go through. LeBron stops Murray from behind. He wanted a foul call. LeBron has stopped Murray on a couple of occasions here. They got to set a better screen. Now Rondo, pass fake, gets the open mid-ranger as Murray fell down under the basket, and the Lakers have exploited that a number of times. That was a huge swing. No foul call, and then Rondo scoring at the expense of Murray. Here's Jokic on the roll. Grant, three-pointer from Monte Morris. That misses. Jokic trying to keep it alive, and he can't. And interesting that Monte Morris is out here right now, Danny.
Yeah, and that was a big tip by KCP there to bring an extra body at Nikola Jokic to prevent the offensive rebound.
I mean, I really don't understand the thought of having Morris out there. Like, they need more size as in help defenders. Here's KCP setting up the three off the dribble. Davis gets in there on the wounded leg. Not looking to shoot that, though. And LeBron recovers. Late clock. Rips through. Foul called. He's going to shoot free throws. And LeBron with a satisfied throw of the ball to the referee. And not a good foul there.
And Jeremy Grant had his arm in the cookie jar. That's a rip through. It's not a shooting foul, but they're in the bonus, so it's free throws.
Yeah, and LeBron generally has not been much of a BS foul jar in his career. He started to do it more in these playoffs. Perhaps a nod to his advancing age. But 2 huge free throws here for James. Oh, and it just curls in.
That bounced so many times.
Yeah, I really don't see the Monte Morris thing right now.
Yeah, and Jamal Murray's complaining about it. I didn't see much contact there, personally.
Yeah, that's tough. But, I mean, just the intimidating presence of LeBron running guys down from behind. He's been doing it for a long time. Everyone's seen the highlight with Iguodala. You just feel him there behind you. So 7-point game here. Much work to do for the Nuggets. Jokic against Morris. Back to goal. Has the size advantage. Double team comes. Jokic steps through. Oh, it just curls out, and Millsap can't get the rebound. Man, the Nuggets have had their chances, haven't they?
Absolutely.
Now they want LeBron against Jokic in pick and roll. LeBron attacking Jokic, and they're going to get a moving screen on Markieff Morris here.
Absolutely the correct call. Not only was it a moving screen, Morris grabbed Grant as well.
Yep, yeah, he really puts the arm around him. Good call. And that would have been very close to Jokic's 6 if he doesn't commit that foul first, Morris. Here's Murray trying to split the pick and roll. Tripped, and he'll get 2 free throws.
And that's Markieff Morris' 6th, too.
Yeah, basically no time running off the clock. And Morris, with 2 fouls in 5 seconds, is going to sit down. Who are you going to go to replace him here? Danny Green?
I think if
they need someone to guard Jokic though, because AD can't do it.
It might be Dwight.
So I guess they are going to put AD onto Jokic. Caruso is in. Torrey Craig in.
Make AD move. That's like put him in the high screening action.
And I don't like this at all. Why are they taking Jokic out here just because it's a defensive possession? Like, do you want to use a timeout here when you're down by 3 possessions? It's about to be a defensive possession, but they have to use a timeout or hope for a stoppage to get Jokic back in here.
Yeah, this is. Maybe I think Malone might be a little spooked that Jokic may have committed his 6th foul, but it didn't get called because of the Markieff Morris.
You're down by 4 points in the last minute of the game. There's 4 possessions left.
I completely agree with you. It is a complete coaching mistake.
Now, if you had to put Craig in for Morris, then maybe to get some more defense. They get Caruso out on the floor here, trying to get it to LeBron late in the clock. Not a lot of help defense on the floor for the Nuggets. Back to goal, LeBron against Morris. Help comes. LeBron, tough fader. Misses. Davis on the glass. He gets it. Jokic could have maybe been there. Now LeBron trying Grant, and that's a rightly called a blocking foul. This will be more free throws for the Lakers, and hopefully Grant is okay here.
Well, and we wondered, I wondered about what the Lakers' late game offense was going to look like, and really what's been the difference is offensive rebounds and fouls. It hasn't really been them making a ton of shots. Rondo got that open free throw line jumper when Jamal Murray wasn't back, but really other than that, it's been free throw line.
Yeah, I do think LeBron has been a little bit more aggressive attacking, and because they have the lead as well, there's more of an impetus to run the time down here. But I mean, they are going to get a chance to bring Jokic back in the game, but one of the best defensive rebounders on the league isn't on the floor for that crucial offensive rebound. Yeah, it's been 2 huge offensive rebounds for Anthony Davis here at the end. So with a minute left, I mean, the Nuggets, they've been so good in the clutch in these playoffs. Yeah, what were we gonna say?
There's a spammer on Twitch. Can you clean it up? I can't do it. Nuggets are challenging the call. I mean, yeah, I don't.
They're not going to win.
No, they're not going to win. So that's just burning it. That's burning one of your remaining timeouts. And you're going to need them. I mean, it's like down like a 2-possession game that could potentially become a 3-possession game. You have to have your timeouts.
Well, we've really made it to get a spammer on Twitch now, right? And yeah, we'll get a mod. We're gonna get this all worked out. Don't worry. But you can go on YouTube right now too.
Would Beasley want to have played a role in the series? A small one. I mean, Monte Morris has been excellent. So I was critical of the Beasley trade, kind of the process of it, because I thought that they needed an out for Gary Harris. Harris has come back and been better. But in this series, I think Beasley wouldn't have had a big role, and Wancho, as much as I love him, wouldn't have had a big role either.
LeBron hitting the free throw. 7-point lead. Looking for Murray on the 3. Davis gets out there. Murray again, and he's blocked by Caruso for a foul.
I mean, with a 7-point margin and 50 seconds to go, I actually thought he was going to kick that out to Jokic for the 3, because you're going to need to start getting more than 2 points pretty quickly. But they will play defense for a possession or two. I do not enjoy it when this is a very small nitpicky thing for me, when the play of the game is like 6 plays. I mean, Jamal Murray's been amazing. Pick one. And there's one to pick.
So Murray hits a couple. 5-point lead. Jokic out again.
So if you get a stop here, are you going to burn your last time out to get Jokic back on the floor?
Yeah, they already wasted one on that challenge. Really don't understand this at all. KCP has the 3 to ice it for the Lakers. That misses. And they don't get the rebound again.
Defensive rebound.
This is just an atrocity of coaching right now. You saw exactly what happened to you last time. You had the best defensive rebounder in the league. And Rondo, I mean, this is a risky attempt here, but a great offensive rebound. Nobody boxed him out. I think that was Craig that missed him. And the Lakers, they started the game this way. They're ending the game this way, winning it with their physicality. And now Rondo with the chance to put it to a 3-possession game. But that's not going to happen. Rondo, a poor free throw shooter. Jokic back in. And they have to call a timeout here, Danny, because they got to get the 2-for-1. There's very little time, though. But they have to get a 3 here on the 2-for-1. It does go through, and they are going to take it.
And don't you wish you had another timeout now? I mean, that's another thing that really lowers this. A low success challenge burns a late timeout, and it's a huge consequence.
Yeah, they really had no chance of winning that challenge. I mean, it looked like it wasn't a blocking, or it looked like it was a blocking foul live, and just block charges are probably your least likely challenge to win.
Question from Jonathan Nash: how many jump shots has LeBron made in this game? Has to be like 0 for 11. He's not 0 for 11, but he is 1 for 8, which is not much better than that. But 5 for 7 in the restricted area, and has gone to the line 14 times. So despite the lack of a jump shot, but yeah, that is a fair point.
Yeah, and he's earned those free throws. He's attacked really hard, and credit Frank Vogel for this new strategy of resting LeBron a lot more. You can do that when you have a secondary star the caliber of Anthony Davis, and they haven't gotten killed with LeBron on the bench the way his teams always seem to back in Cleveland. And so he's had a lot of energy. He's guarding Jamal Murray at the end of the game. He forced a couple of really difficult misses. So now Denver here, having used their last time, I think they need to get a 3 right away here. Lakers switching everything on the inbounds. Jokic jacks it up. Fouled! No, he's not fouled. Instead, Millsap is fouled on the rebound. Sorry, I saw the referee put his arm up and thought it was a foul. Instead, Millsap beat Caruso to the rebound, and he'll get a chance to shoot free throws, but that's not the end of the world for the Lakers, up 6.
Yeah, because that can only cut the margin to 4, and so as long as they inbound it successfully, they should be fine. Do we get to have do you intentionally miss the free throw question now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something they should consider, assuming that he makes the first, but they're still down 2 possessions here.
They're pulling Jokic. Oh, because they're going to foul. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, they need to press and foul.
So this is the time it actually does make sense.
Millsap does hit a couple. They're going to try and deny the ball in bounds here. No, they totally blow it and get it to Davis. Now he's trapped in the corner, though, and timeout called. Frank Vogel actually called that timeout on the sideline.
Here's the big question for the Lakers. Do you burn your second to advance the ball? Because otherwise you only have 4 seconds to get across the timeline.
Yeah, that's where entering the ball in quickly goes wrong. They did get into Davis, but he can't really move or dribble right now.
Yeah, and having AD as the guy back to potentially catch that inbound is a big problem because he can't break the press. He can't move. Did Malone undo all the good work he's done so far in the playoffs? No, nothing that dramatic, but it has been, a, let's call it some suboptimal decision making. But then they're playing better defensively. The rotations have overall been better. So no, you don't want to overreact, but it is a reminder that being an improved coach does not make you a perfect coach.
Yeah, that was the worst of both worlds for the Lakers because they inbound the ball, they have to take a timeout, and now they can't advance it either. What do you think? Would you take your last time out here to advance the ball?
I would not. The Lakers have some good passers and they have some capable press breakers. I would trust them to do it.
Yeah, so they did not do that. It looks like Jason Kidd is actually drawing up the play here to get them into the front court. And I think if you're Malone, go ahead. Sorry,
quick interjection. This is another circumstance, defense only kind of trying to trap, that Gary Harris being stapled to the bench is not an advantage.
Yeah, why you would have, you're going to take Jokic out for defense. Harris is probably their best ball hawk. Morris is not really a good defensive player. He has no length or size. Yeah, I don't really get that either. That's a great point. Yeah, the Mike Malone rotation roulette has been crapping out. How do you like that casino analogy? Totally terrible. All right, here we go. I think if you're the Nuggets, you want to just play this straight up, make them inbound the ball in front of you, and then just try to pressure up and make them dribble it up against pressure and see if you can force a turnover. Don't necessarily need to double team at this point.
Oh, wait, the Lakers did advance the ball.
Oh, yeah, so they are now out of timeouts. Okay.
Yes.
So now they're going to try to deny the ball in bounds, obviously, and then foul immediately. Not a ton of super reliable options here for free throws. They try to get it into AD, lobbed up, and the foul is committed by Murray.
I was debating for a second should they go for a trap, but the problem is if you don't get it, if you don't get the turnover in a couple seconds, you just burn that time, and Denver has no timeouts left.
Well, the trap in once you're in the front court doesn't do as much for you because there isn't
Right.
that impetus of, oh my God, we got to get it across half court. So that was
Exactly.
I think that was a good decision by the Lakers in the end to use that timeout. And Davis is really their best free throw shooter with this group, and he makes that one.
And the Lakers should probably try to put a little bit more heat on the Nuggets in the backcourt here, just to make them run a little bit more time, because you can make that a real enemy of Denver, because they need to get at least 2 possessions here.
Davis hits the second, so much difficulty now for Denver. Lakers trying to pressure up to make him take some time off the clock. Rondo hounding Murray. Oh, gets a nice look, but another miss, and Davis rebounds, and that's going to do it here. Nuggets put a little token pressure on the backcourt. They get it into LeBron, and the Lakers will hold on for a 3-1 lead against the Denver Nuggets. And we will be back. I don't know when we're going to be back, actually. If there's a game 6, I don't think we're going to do the next 2 games. If there's a game 6 in Boston, Miami, that's probably be our next cast. So, shame that both these series are 3-1. I think they've been very close series that really deserve to be 2-2. But hopefully we'll be treated to a game 6 in at least one of these series. And if so, we will talk to you all then.